What's going on, Warriors? It's Coach Jay. So I missed 5 months at the gym. It's my 4th day back at the gym lifting. I'm gonna take you through my workout. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do over this next 30 days to 60 days to gain massive amounts of muscle and burning body fat, what my strategies are to do both. So if you're interested in any of that, building muscle, burning body fat, maybe you're somebody who hasn't been to the gym yet and you want some ideas on what you need to do as a type 1 diabetic to build muscle. And even if you're not a diabetic, this video is great, because it's gonna show you things that you can do to help to build. But if you're type 1 diabetic, especially like myself, you're gonna get a lot of great information here to show you what you should do. Supplement-wise, we're gonna get into that. We're also gonna get into workouts that I would do. And with the workouts, I'm gonna give you specific strategies because my workouts are gonna be different because I'm still rehabbing my shoulder. So I'm not doing a full workout in terms of what I would do, but I'm gonna show you key things to do to implement into your workout to take your training to the next level. We'll also talk about my food. So I'm gonna let you know what I'm eating, why I'm eating it as well, so you have everything you need to know what I'm doing in a day to help myself to build muscle, and I hope it helps you out too. If it's your first time on the channel, guys, I'm a type 1 diabetic, played sports my entire life, from football, hockey, soccer, played a little bit of semi-pro hockey as well, and now my goal is to get back. I've been a personal trainer for over 11 years. My game plan is to help diabetics to control their blood sugars. We started a movement in the way that we treat and manage and build muscle and burn body fat as diabetics. But if you're not a diabetic, I also do crazy supplement reviews as well, and videos like this that you'll find information on which can help you to build muscle, also burn fat, and strategies you can use for yourself as well. So whether you're a diabetic or not, if you like the channel, you like vlogs, maybe you just want to connect with me, I want to connect with you guys too. I love you guys. Appreciate you guys for supporting me. Go ahead, smash the subscribe button down below. Hit that bell notification so you don't miss out on any of these videos. I'm just going to the gym. I've actually been fasting for about 12 hours now. I like to fast. I feel like for me, it helps to tighten me up a little bit, burn a little bit more body fat for myself as well. Also helps me see where my blood sugars are so I can get a really good gauge on patterns. Now what I'm gonna eat here, I've got a little bit of oats. These are Harvest Crunch oats in here. Might be hard to see. We've got some Harvest Crunch oats in here. We've got some blueberries, great antioxidants in the blueberries, plus a little bit of carbs here. And we've got Greek yogurt over here. So we've got about 8 grams of protein here. Over here, about another 4 or 5 grams of protein, so 15. And the berries we've got over here are gonna be about 10 grams of carbohydrates. I've also got a shake that I'm gonna have, and keep in mind, I'm going to the gym right now. So this is about 30 minutes out from the gym. I also have a mass gainer that I'm taking, 1 scoop. So that's gonna be about 45 grams of carbohydrates. The oats in here, about 75 grams of carbohydrates. So we're putting that together. We're over 100 plus carbohydrates here with this meal. Protein wise, we've got about, if we count the eggs as well, we're looking at about close to 50 grams of protein as well for this meal. And what I'm also gonna have is creatine, and I'm gonna have something called citrulline malate. Now, citrulline malate, really great to improve what's called vasodilation in the blood vessels. So it opens up the blood vessels a little bit, relaxes them. This can improve the flow of oxygen to the body cells, nutrients to the body cells, which can actually help you to lift more, feel more full when you're working out as well, and also give you more energy. So that's where citrulline malate is great. Now, there's also something called creatine. I'm taking creatine monohydrate. Creatine's great because it helps your body with energy in the gym to lift more weight as well. It does this through your ATP-CP system, which is adenosine triphosphate, creatine phosphate systems. And we have 3 energy systems. The first one is your ATP-PC system. And so this one helps to activate that system a lot better, meaning that when your body is training, it uses a molecule called ATP. So you have adenosine and 3 molecules of phosphate. So adenosine tri, meaning 3 phosphates. And so when we train, a phosphate gets shot out, then you have ADP. But your body also has a store as part of the first energy system of ATP naturally. And so when you're working out about 2 seconds to around 8 seconds, your body's gonna utilize whatever ATP is left over, right? Now up to 2 minutes, now you're gonna transfer to the second energy system, which uses more glucose to convert that into energy. Now with this entire process though, creatine just helps your body to shuttle more phosphates back to ADP, to turn it back into ADP, which is energy for your body, helping that process run smoother so you have more energy, you lift more. Powerful supplement as well, which can help to regulate blood sugars. Now, One side effect that I gotta say is some type 1 diabetics might notice their blood sugar goes all over the place with a creatine monohydrate. It doesn't happen a lot, but if it happens to you, just get rid of it or try going for a creatine HCl. 125 grams of carbohydrates here as well. And again, remember, carbs are amazing to help fill your body with glycogen, which also helps during your workouts to move into that second energy system I talked about, which is your glycolytic system, where the body uses glucose to fuel that ATP process a lot more effectively once you run out of that ATP in the first energy system we talked about. So that's why carbohydrates are important. So I'm gonna have this, and then post-workout, I might have a shake or something like that, but I'll take you guys with me. I've been rambling for way too long, all right? But important for me to break that down for you guys. You know I got you. Boom, off the hip, boom! I got you guys. Let's just go to the gym right now. Oh, fuck, I got a cheese stick too. All right, guys, so we're inside Fusion Fitness. It's the spot where I live in Cambridge. Another thing I didn't talk about was EAAs, right? So when I got injured, I stopped coming to the gym. But what I used to, so for 5 months wasn't coming to the gym. But one of the things that really helps out a lot with muscle growth is something called EAAs. That stands for essential amino acids. But EAAs, while you're sipping that and you're working out, really can help to get into the muscles, do some repair for you as well while you're training, and help to avoid too much of the catabolic or the breakdown process during training. Really help my muscles look full. So that's something that I'm gonna be looking to get. But the first thing I wanna talk about, if you guys are ever in Cambridge, let me know, man. I'm gonna take you guys to my gym. Get a quick lift in. First thing I want to talk about to you guys is going to be mindset, guys. Mindset is everything. I can tell you guys to do this and do that, but if our mind is not right with the workouts that we're doing, it's going to make it even harder for us to get where we want to go. What I mean by mindset is, are you focused when you come to the gym, or are you just going through the motions? There's a lot of people that get a program and they might look at something and say, just because I'm doing it, I deserve to have muscle. But the truth is, it doesn't work like that. You gotta give something into it. You gotta push it. If you want the muscle to grow, you gotta command that shit to grow. You gotta say, look at your muscle, like, grow, motherfucker. Push until failure. Failure just means when you get to 8 to 12 reps, could you have done 20? Because if you could have did 20, then it's not heavy enough for you. You need to find weight where you're going heavy, focus on your workouts, and get the shit done. If you're able to sit T in your left hand and curl a weight in your right hand, it's too light. It's too light. Now, another topic I want to talk about, guys, is drop sets. So I got an arm curl here. You guys know I like biceps. Again, I'm just getting back into it. So if I'm going over here, let's say my rep range is 8 to 12 reps. I'm pumping out 8 to 12 reps. Now, on my last set, here's how I should look. This is my last set right here. Calm down, calm down, calm down. And if I have to, even you could do a little half a second pause and try to lift it up one more time. While keeping the form. But so you see how I was struggling on that last set? That's what a good set should look like. Now, a drop set is something that you perform in the same set that you're doing, but you're gonna lighten the weight and keep going until you rest. I do this almost every workout I do, so I drop it by about 50 to 60%. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna go again until failure. And on that drop set, you should be about 8 to 15 reps. And I like to break my workouts down to push, pull, legs. Anything that's push is gonna be chest, shoulders, triceps. It's a push motion, chest, shoulders, triceps. So you can group all those workouts together on your push days. And then you want to separate it. The next day, maybe you do a pull day, because then you give your body a chance to rest. So now I'm going to do back, and I'm going to focus on biceps. And then I have a leg day. And with a leg day, you could just do legs, or you could add another body part to that with your supersets, just so you're hitting more. And so that's how you can keep working through the workouts that make sense for you. Before I came into the gym, I was about a 6.5. So that's kind of where I like to keep my blood sugar. I never like to go in too high. I'd rather keep it steady and then just have some sugar to help boost myself if I need that before a workout. So again, I can anticipate if I'm going to go low or going to go high. Typically, I start to go a little bit higher during my workout. The reason is because your body also breaks down lactic acid. You know what? I don't like the lighting here. Let's turn this around. So what ends up happening is your body at the end of the day, through what's called the Cori cycle, produces lactic acid when you're training. And you have the hormones like adrenaline, glucagon, cortisol get released. That's designed to spike glucose. So when you're strength training, at the same time you have a Cori cycle. Cori cycle converts lactic acid, which is a byproduct of breaking down glucose, turns into what's called pyruvate in your cell and creates an energy molecule called ATP. Now, if there's too much pyruvate and we're not using that right away, that builds up lactic acid. That lactic acid gets pushed into the body's blood, and then within the blood, it goes to your body's liver, where there it's converted to gluconeogenesis into glucose again, or glycogen. That can spike your blood sugar when you're training as well. And that's why if you're training, you notice the spike initially, that could be the reason for it. And on top of it too, post-workout, you might notice that as well. And so if that happens, you get ahead of it by anticipating with maybe 2 to 3 shots of insulin, or you take a look at how much you normally spike and then just use your correction factor, assuming it works and it's dialed in, and then you can anticipate the spike by giving yourself the insulin that you would have gave to correct it ahead of time. Guys, so if you guys are doing a superset, here's how it would look. So again, supersets just mean you're not dropping the weight on the set you're doing. You're changing the workout, and you can do anything to change it. But typically I like to keep push days together and pull days together. Say I'm doing my rows over here, my dumbbell rows. I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna hit that failure. So I'm hitting failure, getting 8 to 12 reps is too difficult for me to lift up again. I'm gonna drop it, and I can go right into a drop set from there, or I could go and I could superset that. So I'll superset it. I'm gonna do bicep curls to superset that. Do something like some hammer curls right here, where I'm coming up like this. And that way I'm still hitting the pull motion, but I'm also attacking another body part, which is my arms. And I mean, imagine someone who's hitting the arms 3 times a week or 4 times a week versus someone who's just doing it 1 arm day and that's it. When you can incorporate other body parts into what you're doing, you're gonna hit them more. And as long as your nutrition is on point to repair the damage you've done, you're gonna get a little bit more ahead in terms of what you're pumping than not. And that's something that's worked for me. Maybe you have a different thing that works for you, but in terms of bodybuilding and what I've seen in the industry, a lot of times combining your body parts with what you're doing can help you to hit them more and make them pop even a little bit more. Come on, you know I got you guys. Classified information, but I'm letting you guys know. My people get to know everything. I got you. A little bit of core. So we'll work on that end of workout. Again, core is the middle part to everything. So adding in some core development is gonna be important. When you start burning the body fat, that's when you start seeing the core more. We're gonna work on hitting the lower abs and the upper abs at the same time. 30 seconds, just something very simple that you guys can add in at the end of your workouts. Something we'll do today. So here's we go. So if we're here like this, really gonna be pressing as hard as you can for 30 seconds against your knees. Now we're gonna go 30 seconds here. We're reach as far as you can, right? 30 seconds. You can put your hands underneath your butt too for 30 seconds, right? So I'm focused on lower abs. I'll move to upper abs again. So legs in the air, and I'm gonna reach for my toe, reach for my toe, reach for my toe. So another thing we can do is knee tucks. So now we're coming in here like this you got that? We're gonna do that for 30 seconds. And then the last thing you're gonna do for 30 seconds is gonna be just crunches, right? And when you're doing your crunches, you wanna pretend like you're bringing your rib cage to your hips, right? So, 6 workouts right there. You can rest for 10 seconds to 30 seconds after doing that, and then repeat that 2 to 3 times. You guys will be burnt up after. Call that classified information, but you know I got you guys, so that's why I'm sharing it with you guys, because you guys are my people. All right, guys, so post-workout, again, game plan. We're trying to build some muscle. Again, remember, type 1 diabetes is about how much muscle can I preserve and how much can I build. We don't want to just throw everything out what we're doing. Every single log we can find, we throw in the fire. You want to be strategic with what you're doing. And the truth is, a lot of people start with 20 minutes of cardio. They do like 30 minutes of strength training. They do another 30 minutes of cardio at the end. You're just going to start breaking down too much muscle for a lot of people. Now, everybody's slightly different, but a lot of times you want to focus on doing the cardio at the end, right? And when you're doing your cardio at the end, again, focus on something like, I like to do a steady walk on an incline, for example, or you can go on to a Stairmaster and do a walk for about 15 to 20 minutes. And again, remember what systems you're working. When you're working that aerobic system, when I'm slow like this, oxygen can get into play. And so my body is gonna be able to utilize that aerobic system, which uses oxygen for energy, right? And fat for energy. And so I'm gonna dive more into the body utilizing those fat stores for energy without overdoing it with something that's too intense, like HIIT training right after a workout. So I would focus on just getting your pace up with something like a walk, pushing it to help yourself to burn that body fat without tapping into too much muscle. Again, the intensity of the workout many times will dictate what system you're using. And if you're going and you're doing slow, steady cardio, you're using more of that third energy system of the body that focuses on using oxygen and also using fat for fuel. Now, it's not to say you can't do HIIT training. There's a time and a place. If I was gonna do HIIT training, I would do it in the morning, and then I would come to the gym, I would eat enough food to make sure I'm not breaking things down too much, come back to the gym, I would focus on strength training, no cardio before I start my strength training, and then post-workout I would do maybe 15 minutes to 20 minutes on a treadmill, on an incline or a Stairmaster, right? And you might notice again, if you're type 1, you might notice the blood sugar starting to dip a little bit with that cardio, especially after strength training, because your body was utilizing a lot of the glucose to help you with the strength training. Now, as soon as you start stepping on the machine, you might be getting to that point where the capacity of how much glucose you have is starting to go downhill, and so that can lead to lows. So being mindful, adjusting your ratios, or having a little bit of juice beforehand to avoid that low if it typically happens, is something that can help you to get ahead of the low before it happens, right? Now remember, you're using that aerobic system as well, so the body isn't necessarily using as much glucose as it would through strength training. Now, a lot of people might say, okay, Jay, if I'm replenishing this with juice, I'm messing up my fat burning schedule here, and I'm not gonna get results. And I hear you. Understanding the foundation of calories and macros can be important, because just buffer an extra 200 calories on your day that goes towards lows if they happen. This way, if you had juice beforehand to avoid the low, maybe 30 grams of juice before you entered the cardio, then that would have already been accounted for. 30 grams of juice would equal to about 120 calories, right? And so because you already buffered for that and budgeted for that, that's something that you could take, you could have beforehand, and it's not gonna mess up your game plan. The other thing is, the bigger picture is always most important. And if you're correcting for a low, but you're doing everything else right, you're hitting your protein, you're training hard, your blood sugars are relatively stable, then you shouldn't have to worry in the bigger picture that you had an extra 30 to 45 grams of juice. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm gonna eat post-workout. All right, Warriors, post-workout now, so here's what I'm gonna eat. I actually grabbed a bunch of fish and chips as well, so I'm gonna have some fish with some fries, but within an hour and a half after I worked out, what I did was I went right and got a booster juice. So it has about 75 grams of carbohydrates in here, plus 30 grams of protein. Again, dosing the insulin right after the workout, taking advantage of that anabolic window where our bodies are more in line to be able to utilize the carbs from what we're taking in, the protein from what we're taking in. Again, this fills my overall calories for the day as well, so I know I'm on track. My blood sugar was also a 4.8 right after the workout, which is good. And so now we're gonna eat some more. I'm gonna have some fish and some fries. It's gonna be my dinner, and this was just a little bit of a snack post-workout. And now my insulin to carb ratio actually is a 1 to a 10 instead of a 1 to a 5. So because post-workout I increased my insulin sensitivity, I'm now changing my carb ratio to post-workout because of what that does to my body. Okay, so I gave myself 8 units for this booster juice, whereas before it would have been around 20.